Practices Act. Doesn't that sound good? I mean, the letter scared me. I almost wrote myself a check for $92, but it was the power of an attorney writing a letter versus Darnell writing that same letter. Our plan also offers document and contract review up to 10 pages. They say the bold print giveth and the fine print taketh away. So have your lawyers review your contracts before you sign your name to them. We also provide a last will and testament. We know that most folks don't have a last will and testament because typically it costs about $500 to have an attorney draw one up tailored to fit your needs. But Prepaid Legal's taken away their financial excuse. We give you one just for trying out our services. The second area of coverage is motor vehicle legal services. This was effective only 15 days after enrollment. They're going to give you assistance with moving traffic violations. Now, I've used this one most often. I received a speeding ticket out of state, but I called my provider lawyer, and with their assistance, my points were dropped, my fine was dropped, I only paid court costs, which are only $35. They're also going to give you assistance with certain motor vehicle-related criminal charges, personal injury, and perhaps driver's license assistance. All of this simply because we have access to this prepaid legal membership. Now, we're not saying that you were driving drunk or you stole a car or wasn't registered, because this service is not set up for bad people to do worse things. It's set up because bad things happen to good people too. Our third area of coverage is our trial defense program. If you or your spouse are named in a civil lawsuit or a job-related criminal lawsuit, Prepaid Legal gives you 75 hours of services your first year. That increases every single year with the fifth year with 335 hours. Now, I've never used all my 75 hours, but I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Now, services like bankruptcy, divorce, child custody aren't covered in this area of coverage, but in our fifth area of coverage. Our fourth area of coverage is our IRS audit legal services. Now, coverage begins with tax returns due April 15th of the year you're enrolled. You know, my mother retired from the Internal Revenue Service after 30 years. She says, Darnell, sometimes the auditors are asking questions they may not have the right to ask, but you may not know that if you don't know the tax codes, and there are more of them every single year. Or she says people bring in bags of receipts, getting themselves in more trouble than they were in when they were named in the audit. But not with your prepaid legal plan. You have 50 hours of services under your fourth area of coverage. On your fifth area of coverage, you get your preferred member discount. Now, I love discounts because it's not much money you make in America, but how much money you keep. And with our preferred member discount, anything that falls outside of the normal membership coverage falls under your discounted area, where you get a 25% discount off the normal hourly rate of your law firm. And that even includes pre-existing conditions. Now, of course, they need 5 days for preparation or any court representation, and you may have to pay a retainer. But to get a discount is powerful with our prepaid legal membership. We've also added on our Legal Shield program. Now, your Legal Shield gives you 24-hour access to your law firm in emergency situations. So if you've been detained, questioned, or arrested by a law enforcement officer, you have access to your law firm. If you're injured in an accident, you have access 24 hours a day, again, to your law firm. If authorities attempt to remove your child from your home or your custody, a lot of folks call their bishop, their pastor, but you have a right to call your law firm. So again, this service is not set up for bad people to do worse things. So if there's drugs or alcohol, domestic violence, or bond assistance issues, that's not covered under our Legal Shield program. Let's pretend for a minute that you were my attorney. And I came to you, instead of working out an hourly rate, let's work out a monthly fee. How much would you charge me every month for you to take care of all the services that I already mentioned? I want you to provide some phone consultation for me, write letters, make phone calls for me, review my contracts, prepare a will, all the different things that we've already gone over. How much would you charge me every single month? Oh, by the way, keep a cell phone on just in case I need you at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want you to wake up, be coherent, and answer my questions. How much would you charge me every single month for all these different services? Most folks say thousands of dollars, or even hundreds of thousands. Well, of course, if I was a wealthy person and I had a $100 million contract, I would spend $1 million on a lawyer so I can keep the other $99 million. But the average person could never do that. The average person, probably in this economy, would have challenges paying $100 a month. So Prepaid Legal has made these services available to us for $26 a month or less, 87 cents a day, and you have access. We call it a cup of coffee, a Coke and a smile, and you have access to our services. Our second service that we provide is our Identity Theft Shield. Now, identity theft is the fastest growing white-collar crime in America today. And unfortunately, many folks are naive enough to think that it's just their credit card or financial information. But we're talking about so many different forms of identity theft. I mean, if you go to the hospital, they have your financial information. If you purchased a home, they have your financial information. If your kids have gone to school, they have your children's financial information. So our information is already out there. You can go to websites now and find out where people live, where they used to live, how much money they make. Unfortunately, there are people getting jobs and other folks' social security numbers, avoiding taxes, and we're stuck with that. So let's try to call your bank with that solution. You know, it just doesn't happen. I did a presentation at the Pentagon, and the captain there lost his security clearance